Hello, hello. We are about to start. It's 9:55, so everything is is going according to the plan. Okay, so I can see that Victor is here, so you can say hello on chat. Yes, good morning. Hello. Uh, so today I can't see you, but at least I can have your response on the chat. Great. So nine people so far. I hope that with time there will be even more. So today we are going to discuss use of English. I hope you're ready for exercising your mind. You already had a chance to do that on your mathematics lesson, so now it's time for English. So let's start. Um, I'm sure that some of you are quite familiar with the pictures that we can see here. Think about your own room. Do you have a floor drop or a chair drop in your room? I know what type of people I have in my house. So, yes, hello, hello. Victor says that he has both of them in his room. What about the other people? Do you have the floor drop or a chair drop? I'm waiting for your responses. Look at those great pictures. Yes, Mateusz says chair drop. Okay, that looks familiar to me, Mateusz. Okay. Or maybe you are just a tidy person and not. Mm-hmm. Michał, bed drop. Okay, I like this one. Okay, bed drop, floor drop. Okay, yeah. So, is there any person here who always, absolutely always, uh, puts the clothes back to the wardrobe once he or she takes it off? Do we have a person like that? So, anyone? Or maybe some of your parents are tidy persons. Okay. Antek, I think I have a sofa drop. Okay. So, Rohu, are you a kind of a floor drop, chair drop, or other drop person, or just a tidy person? Okay. So, why do you think a lot of teenagers have a mess in their room? It's a very common problem. Parents often argue with their children about the mess in their room. So, what do you think about it? Okay. Why do you think a lot of teenagers have a mess in their room? What are the reasons? It's system. Victor, could you specify? Okay, it's not a mess, it's a system. Mm-hmm. Okay. And other responses here. Okay, and other responses. Hmm. Well, it seems that not so many. So what about the next question? Should parents help teenagers tidy up their rooms, or should they allow them to have a mess? Okay, Antek wrote, I think sometimes we don't have time for cleaning the room. Mikołaj says that teenagers are lazy. Okay. So, what do you think about the role of the parents? Should parents help teenagers tidy up their rooms, or should they allow them have a mess? What are your views here? Okay. Adam suggests that they should allow them have a mess. Why, Adam? Why do you think so? Okay, so I do appreciate your responses, but could you please explain your opinions? Why you? Uh-huh. Okay, so you all agree that parents shouldn't help you. They should let you have a mess. Why? Why should they let you have a mess? Have a mess? Any ideas? Any explanations? Mm-hmm. Okay, I can do it myself. Yes, of course, Victor, you can. Any other? Yes. Yes, with a short delay, but still. Okay, I can accept that explanation. Any other explanations? Anyone else? Hmm? You seem a bit sleepy today. So have a look at exercise number 2. Maybe it will wake you up a little bit. So, excuse me. Look at these expressions, okay, and say how the meaning of the underlined word changes depending on the context. Okay, how the meaning changes depending on the context. Make a mess in your life, make a mess in your room. What is mess in your life and what is mess in your room? Yes, Mateusz. Okay, Antek wrote that sometimes when I have a clean room, I can't find anything. And when I have a mess, I know where everything is. Well, I know that explanation, black paint, yeah. So, yes, what about a mess in your life and a mess in your room? Okay? Noun or command? Okay. Well, of course, when we make a mess in our life, psujemy sobie życie, albo po prostu mamy bałagan w pokoju. What about a light room and a light meal. Yeah, how would you explain or translate the meaning of those underlined expressions? A light room and a light meal. Anyone? Yes? Jasny pokój, lekki posiłek. Yes, Mikołaj, thank you. Lekki meaning lekkostrawny. Yeah, okay, well done. What about the next one? That you take a shower and forecast heavy showers across Poland. So, what about this? Take a shower and forecast heavy showers across Poland. Wziąć prysznic, yes, and forecast heavy showers across Poland? Yeah. I ulewne deszcze. Okay, yes. What about the next one? Let me do it, a flat to let. Let me do it, a flat to let. Yes, ulewne deszcze nad Polską. Okay. I hope not this weekend. So, let me do it, a flat to let. Mieszkanie do wynajęcia, yes. And let me do it. Pozwól, że to zrobię. Okay. Great. Excellent. A sharp knife, a sharp mind. Okay, it seems you're waking up. So, a sharp knife, a sharp mind. Bystry umysł, ostry nóż. Okay. Absolutely. Great. So I know you all have sharp minds. So, what about give somebody a lift and use the lift? I think that soon most of you will be able to give somebody a lift. And when you live in a bigger city, you will use the lift. So, what do you do when you give somebody a lift? Wzywać windę. Okay, so Michał, podwieźć, tak. Give somebody a lift, podwieźć. A give somebody a lift, no może niekoniecznie dajemy komuś windę, ale na pewno kogoś podwozimy when we give somebody a lift. So that's why I said that soon most of you will be able to give somebody a lift when you get your parents' car, and you will use the lift. Yes, when you, for example, live in a building with a lift and you want to go from the ground floor to the 10th floor. Okay, great. So now let's move on. Okay, and now we are with exercise number 3, and here I would like you to look at the sentences, okay, and you have to choose the word that best completes both sentences. So let's have a look at the first one. From my point of parents should not criticize their children for having a mess in their rooms. My hotel room had a breathtaking over the sea. Remember that one word has to be the answer for sentence 1 and sentence 2. Ola suggests view. Would you agree with Ola? Yes. Yes, so it will be the word view. From my point of view, z mojego punktu widzenia, and my hotel room had a breathtaking view. Przepiękny widok. Okay, what about number 2? George's is always a mess. My dad is trying to make for vegetable garden in our backyard. So, what about the answer here? Victor suggests C. What do you think? Shimon, yes. Ola, room. Okay, yes. So it is C. George's room is always a mess. We've already talked about it. And my dad is trying to make a room for vegetable, czyli jakieś miejsce przygotowuje w ogródku. I w takim kontekście room is uncountable. Jako miejsce do czegoś w ogródku. Ok, czy w domu, tak? Jako miejsce it's uncountable. What about number 3? We can put the guest up in the bedroom. What do you do in your time? So, what can we do with the guests? Okay, you think 3-bedroom? Well, basically here, I think something that you should remember is that if one room or one bedroom in our house is not occupied, we call it a spare bedroom. So the extra bedroom for guests is called a spare bedroom. And of course, we can have free time and we can have spare time. So the answer here is spare. We can put the guest up in the spare bedroom. Okay, and what do you do in your spare time? So again, spare bedroom is extra bedroom, okay, in our house, and spare time it's free time. So let's move on with sentence number 4. Knowing the multiplication is a must at school, my grandma asked me to lay the for tea. Knowing the multiplication is a must at school, my grandma asked me to lay the for tea. And just remember, tea is also the name of the meal, which would be podwieczorek. Adam suggests B. Okay. Any other ideas? Or do you agree with Adam? Yes. Actually, it will be table. Multiplication table is simply tabliczka mnożenia. And lay the table, nakryć stół na podwieczorek. So my grandma asked me lay the table for tea. Poprosiła mnie, abym nakrył stół na podwieczorek. So let's move on to number 5. The light was so that I had to turn it down. Anna was an exceptionally child who did very well at school. So the light was so that I had to turn it down. Anna was an exceptionally child who did very well at school. So number 5 Okay, okay, okay. So what about number 5? Okay. A sharp Well, Anna definitely had a sharp mind, but but was a bright child. Yes, and the light was bright. So the light was bright, and Anna was a bright child. A bright child of definitely a sharp mind. Okay? But a bright child. Okay, so now let's have a look at the last sentence of this exercise. I will stay at my parents until I find a of my own. Spain is a great for a holiday. So, what about your answer now? C, yes. It is a place, yes. Until I find a place of my own, Spain is a great place for a holiday. Yes, definitely. Okay. And of course, there are many wonderful places for holidays that I'm sure we'll be able to visit sometime in our life. Okay, so now let's move on to exercise number 6. Okay, and now if you look at the sentences, you have to choose the one that could best substitute that that part which is marked in yellow. So think about the first one. Draw the curtains if you want to have a nap. Otherwise, it will be too bright for you to fall asleep. So, what would be your answer now? Draw the curtains if you want to have a nap. Otherwise, it will be too bright for you to fall asleep. Yes, it will be too light. Great. What about number 2? I'm terribly short of money, so I could hardly afford to buy new furniture. I'm terribly short of money, so I could hardly afford to buy new furniture. What it is, A, B, or C now? So if I'm terribly short of money, if I'm terribly short of money, do I have no money, enough money, or little money? Yes. So the answer for number 2 is A. Yeah, I have no money. I hope you remember the difference when we say I have no money and when you say I have a little money. Okay, good, Shimon. Why? I'm trying to explain. Sure, I have a little money. That means that I don't have a lot of money, but enough to buy something. When you say I have little money, no A, I have little money, that means that I don't have enough money to buy something. Okay, so basically, have enough money and have a little money are exactly the same answers. And if I'm terribly short of money, it means that I have hardly any money to get by. So that's why I couldn't afford to buy new furniture. So, number 3. The door handle came off and it needs fixing. I will take you a second to put it right. The door handle came off and it needs fixing. It will take you a second to put it right. So, what do you think about 3? Is it 3A, 3B, or 3C? Yes, it's going to be B. And now number 4. It's not necessary for you to help me with the cooking. So you can't, you mustn't, you don't have to. Think about modals. Yes, so 3 is B. Now think about number 4. I've got quite a few responses straight away. Yes. And it's going to be C. You don't have to, of course. Excellent. So have a look at number 5. Could you put me up for the weekend, please? The hotels are a bit too pricey. So if you ask your friend to put you up for the weekend, what do you want from your friend? Do you want money, accommodation, or do you want the person to find somewhere else to stay? What do you want from your person from your friend when you ask him or her to put you up for the weekend? Okay. Yeah, well, it's not about money. Yes, it is about accommodation. Of course, it's about accommodation. So could you put me up for the weekend? Could you offer me some accommodation? So could I stay in your spare room? In other words, yeah. Great. So in this way, we basically finished the basic level of use of English from unit number 2, and now we are going to continue with the extended one. So let's have a look here at this practice exercise. Okay. And now, if you look at the underlined part, I would like you to come up with as many ways of expressing that underlined part as possible. So I'm waiting for some of your suggestions. For example, when I was a child, I was quite messy. So how can you express saying, in other words, how can you say it that when you were a child you were quite messy? Can you think of other ways of saying the same sentence in a different way? Just to give you some idea what I want from you. So when I was a child, I used to be quite messy. I had a tendency to be quite messy. I tend to be quite messy. I would leave a mess. I hope you remember the difference between used to and would, okay, to talk about past habits. So now let's think about number 2. I regret changing the color of my wallpaper. Think about the grammar structures that we used when we talk about regrets. Which grammar structure do we use when we talk about regrets? I'm waiting for your suggestions on chat. Come on, be active. I know you can do it. The chat is silent. Shimon, okay, you suggest that you don't know the answer. Okay, I'm still thinking if I give you some idea that Maybe I wish, I wish. And now if I tell you I wish, and other structure connected with wishes. I wish I hadn't changed the color of my wallpaper. Yes, well done, Adam. Okay. And what is another structure? Look, I wish I hadn't changed. So exactly as Adam suggested. Here, if only I hadn't changed. So I wish and if only are connected. That's what we use when we talk about regrets. Another option, I would rather not have changed the color of my wallpaper. I would rather not have changed. Okay, so wish, if only, I'd rather not have done something. Have a look at number 3. We just wanted to stay at home. How can you say it in other words? We just wanted to stay at home. So, my friends, you're doing well and I know you can do it. Use your sharp minds. Okay, so all we wanted to do was, our only dream was to stay at home. So, my parents are tired of the mess in my younger sister's bedroom. My parents are tired of the mess in my younger sister's bedroom. What about the expression are tired of the mess? How can we express the fact that somebody is tired of the mess? Can you think of some other structures that you can use here? So, I'm sure you know the expressions. Are fed up with the mess. We've had enough of the mess. Okay. Yes, Adam, are fed up with the mess. Exactly. So the same moment. So just summarizing. I was quite messy. I used to be quite messy, had a tendency, would leave a mess, tended to be quite messy. Regret changing. Wish I hadn't changed. If only I hadn't changed, I would rather not have changed. We just wanted, all we wanted to do, what we wanted to do was, our only dream was. And finally, are tired of the mess, are fed up with the mess, we've had enough of the mess, or they've had enough of the mess. Okay, so some of the suggested answers, and now let's continue with that keyword transformation. So basically, you will have to express the idea, okay, using the keyword and using up to 5 words in each gap. All right, so here we have the typical exam task. And I know the last 2 exercises to go during our lesson. So let's do it. Let's show the world what you can do. With the first one, my brother will leave his clothes all over the bathroom floor. So annoying. My brother, his clothes on the bathroom floor. What would be the keyword? Leaving, exclamation marks. Those are the tips for you. They should be the tips for you. Okay? Any ideas? Yes, Ola, thank you for your quick response. Is always leaving. Absolutely. Present continues to talk about things which annoy us. Great. Yes, is always leaving, Adam, absolutely. It's pointless to tell Helen to get rid of the mess in her room. It's pointless to tell Helen to get rid of the mess in her room. You have to use, okay? So what about this expression? Okay, no response here. It's no use telling. If you don't remember, please write it down so that you remember it in the future. It's pointless to tell Helen. It's no use telling Helen. So let's have a look at number 3. My parents told me to do the washing up for them. So the washing up for my parents. My parents told me to do the washing up. What about this one? Yes, Adam, almost. It's useless. Yeah, it's no use telling. Yes, what about number 3? What about number 3? I was made. I was made to do the washing up for my parents. Okay. So number 4. No, I was made. It's a passive voice, yes? My parents told me to do. I was made to do, czyli jak gdyby zostałem zmuszony do pozmywania. I was made to do. And now number 4. It was my first time in a 5-star hotel. It was the first time in a 5-star hotel. So, what about number 4? Yes? 2 more sentences to go. I had stayed, Ola almost right, because look here, it was, yes, it was, not it is. It was my first time I had stayed. So past perfect, because here we have it was. So before that time, it was. And the last one, the flat will be vacant by the time you come back. Yeah, Rohu, I have already explained, had stayed, and I told you why. Yes, I had stayed. Okay, and number 5, the flat will be vacant by the time you come back. Yeah, so I will have moved out by the time you come back. So it's future perfect. I will have moved out by the time you come back. So I think that would be our last exercise for today, as we are running out of time. I'm waiting for the answers to exercise number 3. I would like to get them on my email address that you all know, kingateaching@gmail.com. Okay, only 5 sentences, nothing more. And I would like you to come up with the translations of those expressions in the boxes. So it's exercise number 3 from page 29, and I would like to get your answers today. The deadline is midnight today. So that's all for today. Thank you very much for your attention, and hope to see you again during our next streaming lesson. Thank you for today and goodbye.